Renowned for his success in both silent films and talkies, John Barrymore was a legend in Hollywood's early days. However, alcoholism took its toll on the actor's life, causing him to suffer greatly in his later years. Once a commanding presence on screen, he became a mere shadow of himself. His physical health declined, and his behavior grew erratic. Despite his earlier achievements, the actor faced financial troubles and personal demons that tarnished his image. Many who remembered his past glory couldn't help but feel sadness for the man he had become. Yet even in his darkest hours, the actor's impact on cinema remained undeniable. His legacy lived on through the timeless films he left behind. And so, the story continues, a tale of triumph and tragedy, forever etched in the annals of movie history. John Barrymore, born in Philadelphia on February 15, 1882, was destined for a career in the spotlight. As the youngest member of a prominent show business family, he followed in the footsteps of his parents, Maurice and Georgina Drew, both stage actors. His older siblings, Ethel and Lionel, also entered the performing arts, making the Barrymore name synonymous with theatrical success. From a young age, John exhibited natural acting abilities. Together with his siblings, they would put on amateur productions at home, where John usually took on the role of the villain. This early exposure to performance laid the foundation for his future endeavors. Tragedy struck when John was just 11 years old. His beloved mother died in 1893, with their father frequently traveling for work. Raising the three children fell upon the shoulders of various relatives while he was away. Despite these challenges, John persevered through adversity, further fueling his desire to succeed in the entertainment industry. As time went on, John continued honing his craft, eventually becoming one of the most celebrated actors of his generation. Yet it all started during those formative years spent surrounded by creativity and ambition. Born into a legacy of artistry and determination, John Barrymore rose above hardship and embraced his calling wholeheartedly, forever leaving his mark on Hollywood's golden age. After being expelled from a prestigious preparatory school in Maryland, at the age of 16 for sneaking into a brothel, John Barrymore began his acting journey in 1910. His debut performance was in A Man of the World, a play directed by his own father. Despite initial aspirations to become an artist, he attended the Art Student League in New York City and worked for the New York Evening Journal. However, destiny led him back to the stage in 1903 with a significant role in the play Magda. This production took him across the country on tour. While overseas in London, during a pivotal time in his life, he expanded his artistic boundaries through exposure to Shakespearean plays. Upon returning to America in 1906, Barrymore experienced multiple triumphs on Broadway. Among these victories was his remarkable portrayal in the 1909 play titled The Fortune Hunter. Indeed, it was clear that the actor had found his true calling on the stage. In 1905, the acting profession faced a tragic moment when the actor's father suffered a mental collapse while performing on stage, which was later attributed to syphilis. This incident left a profound impact on the family, including the young John Barrymore, who would soon follow his brother Lionel into the movie business. Barrymore made his film debut in the 1914 production titled An American Citizen. Prior to his foray into cinema, he had already established himself as a talented stage performer. However, it wasn't until he started appearing in motion pictures that he gained widespread recognition. During World War I, despite wanting to contribute to the war effort, the actor was unable to do so because of varicose veins. But this setback did not deter him from continuing his pursuit of excellence in the burgeoning field of motion pictures. As he moved from theater to film, the actor found success in several notable silent movies such as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Sherlock Holmes. His performances were highly praised by critics and audiences alike, further solidifying his status as a leading man in Hollywood. These roles allowed him to demonstrate his remarkable range and versatility, traits that have been associated with some of the most iconic actors throughout cinematic history. Initially, the actor thrived as the film industry transitioned to sound, with his distinctive voice and dramatic presence enhancing his performances. His popularity soared as audiences flocked to hear him speak on screen. However, as the 1930s progressed, his battle with alcoholism became more apparent, affecting his work. The actor's struggle with the bottle led to a noticeable decline in his physical appearance and his ability to perform. By the late 1930s, he found himself taking on smaller roles, a stark contrast to the leading parts he once commanded. This decline was marked by a growing dependence on cue cards, as memorizing lines became increasingly difficult for him. Despite these challenges, he continued to work in the industry that he had been a part of for so long, demonstrating a resilience that, while tested by personal demons, still shone through in moments on the silver screen. Subsequently, in the twilight of his career, John Barrymore found himself grappling with the challenges of his craft. The once celebrated actor, known for his commanding presence and dramatic flair, faced a period of decline that was as public as it was poignant. His performances, which had once held audiences in rapt attention, became difficult to watch as he struggled to remember his lines. This was notably evident during the run of My Dear Children, a production that marked his return to the stage. The audience, who had come expecting to witness the familiar brilliance of the actor, instead saw a man wrestling with the very art that had defined his life. Similarly, his appearance on the Fleischmann's Yeast Hour radio show was a far cry from the triumphs of his earlier days. The actor, who had once effortlessly captivated listeners with his voice, now seemed to falter, leaving an impression of a talent that had once soared, but was now caught in a heartbreaking descent. Subsequently, the actor graced the screen for the last time in Playmates, a 1941 comedy that marked the end of an era. The following year, in 1942, he bid farewell to a life rich in artistic achievement. In an event as dramatic as his roles, his body became the subject of a bizarre tale recounted by his granddaughter, Drew Barrymore. She revealed that his body was taken from its resting place by his friends W.C. Fields, Errol Flynn, and Sadakichi Hartman. They had, it was claimed, spirited him away for one last gathering around the poker table, a startling incident that would befit the final act of a theatrical legend. This classic anecdote has added a curious footnote to the storied history of a man who spent his life captivating audiences with his performances. John Barrymore, born John Sidney Blythe in 1882, was destined for greatness from an early age. Raised in a family of talented actors, he made his stage debut at age 16. His natural talent and good looks quickly gained him recognition in New York City's theater scene. By his mid-20s, he had already established himself as a respected actor. However, it was his move to Hollywood that truly solidified his place in American culture. In the 1920s, he starred in several successful films including Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Grand Hotel. These roles cemented his status as one of the most popular leading men of his time. Unfortunately, despite his early success, the latter part of his life saw a decline in both his personal and professional fortunes. Plagued by alcoholism, he struggled to maintain his career and became known more for his scandalous behavior than his acting abilities. He passed away in 1942 at the age of 60, leaving behind a legacy tainted by his struggles off-screen. Despite these challenges, the impact of his work can still be felt today. With his piercing blue eyes and chiseled jawline, he embodied the idealized image of male beauty during the golden age of Hollywood. And while his later years were marked by turmoil, there is no denying the influence he had on future generations of performers. Even now, over 80 years after his death, people continue to appreciate his contributions to this classic art form. In the early 1900s, a man named John Barrymore rose to fame as one of the greatest actors of his time. Born on February 15, 1882, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he was destined for a life in the spotlight. The son of noted stage actor Maurice Barrymore and Georgiana Drew, both from prominent acting families, John's path seemed preordained. Barrymore first appeared on stage at age 16, but it wasn't until his late 20s when he gained recognition in Broadway productions like The Jest. He then set his sights on Hollywood, where he became a major box office draw during the silent film era. Among his most memorable roles were Hamlet, Beau Brummel, and Don Juan, the latter being the first feature film to use synchronized sound for music and effects. Despite personal struggles later in life, including alcoholism, John remained respected for his extraordinary talent. His impact on American theater and cinema has been profound, inspiring generations of performers who followed him. Even today, over half a century since his death in 1942, we remember John Barrymore for his unforgettable contributions to the arts. Born on February 15, 1882, into the esteemed Barrymore acting dynasty, John Barrymore was destined for a life in the theater. His father, Maurice Barrymore, and mother, Georgiana Drew, were both successful stage actors, as were his siblings Lionel and Ethel. From a young age, John was exposed to the behind-the-scenes workings of the theater, often accompanying his parents to rehearsals and performances. This early immersion sparked his interest in acting and set him on a path towards stardom. John's paternal grandfather, Herbert Blythe, was also a well-known actor, further solidifying the family's legacy in the entertainment industry. Despite this rich heritage, however, John initially resisted following in his family's footsteps. Instead, he pursued art and considered becoming an artist before eventually succumbing to his passion for acting. One of John's earliest and most significant influences was his maternal grandmother, Louisa Lane Drew, a respected actress and manager of the Arch Street Theater in Philadelphia. Under her guidance, John made his professional debut at the age of 16 in a production of Sherlock Holmes. He continued to perform alongside his family members throughout his teenage years, honing his skills under their watchful eyes. As John's career progressed, he sought out new challenges and opportunities to grow as an actor. One such opportunity came when he met renowned Shakespearean actor Sir Herbert Beerbohm Tree during a visit to London. Impressed by the young American's talent, Tree invited John to study at his prestigious Academy of Dramatic Art. There, John learned valuable techniques and refined his approach to acting, developing a deep understanding of characterization and motivation. Upon returning to the United States, John began working extensively in Broadway productions, quickly gaining recognition for his powerful voice and commanding presence. Over time, he became one of the era's leading stage actors, earning praise from critics and audiences alike. With each performance, John built upon the foundation laid by his family and mentors, establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with in the world of theater. Growing up in a family of actors, it seemed inevitable that John Barrymore would find his calling on the stage. His mother, Georgiana Drew, was a prominent actress, and his father, Maurice Barrymore, was a highly respected actor. Even his siblings, Ethel and Lionel, became successful actors. But for John, it wasn't until he saw Italian opera star Jean Duresque perform that he truly discovered his passion for acting. It happened one evening when John, still a teenager, managed to sneak into the exclusive Union Square Theater in New York City. As he watched Duresque command the stage, something stirred within him. He later recalled feeling an electric shock that left him breathless. From that night forward, John knew he wanted to become an actor. After dropping out of high school, John followed his dream and began performing in small theater companies around New York City. Despite facing early struggles and criticism from some quarters, John persevered and eventually made his way to Broadway. There, he quickly gained recognition for his remarkable talent, earning rave reviews for his performances in plays like Richard III and Hamlet. John's magnetic presence and undeniable charisma soon caught the attention of Hollywood producers. In 1914, he appeared in his first film, An American Citizen, which marked the start of a prolific movie career spanning several decades. Over time, John established himself as one of the most celebrated actors of his generation, known for his unforgettable portrayals in films such as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Grand Hotel. Despite his many accomplishments, however, John never forgot the spark that ignited his love for acting, that fateful night watching Jean Duresque at the Union Square Theater. And so, throughout his illustrious career, John continued to push boundaries and captivate audiences, leaving behind a lasting legacy that continues to inspire aspiring actors today. Born into a family of actors, John Barrymore's path to success was filled with obstacles. His father, Maurice Barrymore, initially disapproved of his son's interest in acting, pushing him towards law instead. However, young John couldn't ignore his passion for the stage. Despite his famous surname, Barrymore struggled to find work. He was often rejected due to his unconventional looks and refusal to follow traditional acting methods. Financial hardships forced him to take on odd jobs, including working as a newspaper cartoonist and a steelworker, just to make ends meet. But Barrymore didn't give up. Determined to succeed, he began performing in small theater companies, honing his craft, and developing his unique style. Rejections continued, but each one fueled his resolve to prove himself. A turning point came when Barrymore landed a role in a Broadway production. Though it wasn't a starring part, he used this opportunity to showcase his talent. Critics took notice, praising his performance and marking the start of his rise to fame. However, even after achieving success, Barrymore had to face industry skepticism. Many questioned his ability to transition from stage to screen. Once again, he proved them wrong by delivering powerful performances in silent films like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Barrymore's journey serves as a testament to perseverance and resilience. Despite numerous setbacks, he never let go of his dream. Instead, he adapted, innovated, and constantly pushed boundaries until he left an indelible mark on the acting world. John Barrymore's breakthrough moments were marked by his extraordinary talent and innovative performances. In 1920, he starred in Richard III, which brought him widespread recognition. His portrayal of the power-hungry king showcased his ability to breathe life into complex characters. According to renowned critic Alexander Woollcott, no living actor has so completely dominated the stage. A few years later, Barrymore pushed the boundaries of acting further with his performance in Hamlet. He captured the essence of Shakespeare's Prince, delivering what many consider one of the greatest Hamlets ever seen on screen. Director Mary Pickford praised his interpretation, saying, "John gave us a Hamlet filled with passion and poetry." Barrymore's film career also had its pinnacle with the swashbuckler classic The Beloved Rogue, where he played François Villon, a 15th-century French poet. With charismatic charm, he elevated the role, captivating audiences worldwide. Peer Douglas Fairbanks admired his work, stating, "John brought romance and adventure together like no other actor could." Despite personal struggles, Barrymore continued to influence Hollywood through mentoring young actors and appearing in memorable films like 20th Century alongside Carole Lombard. This cemented his status as a true Hollywood icon, leaving behind a legacy cherished by generations of moviegoers. John Barrymore was known for his innovative approach to acting and his deep commitment to his craft. He often drew upon his own life experiences to bring depth and authenticity to his roles. For instance, his tumultuous romantic relationships inspired many of his most memorable performances, including those in Hamlet and Richard III. Barrymore's artistic vision was heavily influenced by his belief in the power of spontaneity and improvisation on stage. Rather than adhering strictly to predetermined blocking or lines, he preferred to allow himself the freedom to respond authentically to each moment as it unfolded. This organic approach gave his performances a sense of unpredictability and raw emotion that captivated audiences. One notable example of this technique can be seen in his portrayal of Hamlet, which famously included an impromptu addition during the iconic soliloquy "to be or not to be." In the midst of delivering the line, and thus the native hue of resolution, is sic laetor with the pale cast of thought. Barrymore paused dramatically before continuing, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents, turn awry, and lose the name of action by inserting the extra pause. He imbued the character with a newfound vulnerability and uncertainty, making the scene all the more impactful. Despite his reputation for being mercurial and difficult to work with, Barrymore remained deeply committed to pushing the boundaries of his art form. His willingness to experiment and take risks helped solidify his status as one of the greatest actors of his time, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire performers today. Whether navigating complex emotional landscapes or tackling challenging physical feats, Barrymore approached every role with a fierce dedication and passion that remains inspiring to this day. And so, we continue to marvel at his remarkable body of work, grateful for the indelible mark he left on the world of theater. John Barrymore, born John Sidney Blythe on February 15, 1882, was a pivotal figure in early Hollywood. Known for his magnetic stage presence and striking features, he became one of the most celebrated actors of his time. Barrymore's influence extended beyond his own performances. He played a significant role in shaping American theater and film during the early 20th century. His innovative approach to acting challenged traditional methods, leading him to explore new techniques like method acting. This shift allowed actors to delve deeper into their roles, creating more authentic and engaging experiences for audiences. Industry expert Richard Schickel noted, "Barrymore brought a sense of danger and unpredictability to every performance." Indeed, his daring choices often push boundaries, inspiring future generations of performers to take risks and challenge convention. One notable example can be seen in Barrymore's portrayal of Hamlet. According to critic Harold Clurman, his interpretation of Shakespeare's Prince remains iconic, even today. By infusing humanity and complexity into the character, Barrymore transformed it from a mere literary figure into a living, breathing individual. Younger actor Johnny Depp cited Barrymore as an inspiration. He had this incredible ability to disappear into his characters. "I think that's what drew me to acting, trying to understand how he did that." Despite passing away in 1942, John Barrymore's impact continues to resonate within both theatrical and cinematic communities. Through his groundbreaking work and indomitable spirit, he left behind a legacy that will undoubtedly inspire artists for generations to come. Born John Sidney Blythe on February 14, 1882, the actor who would become known as John Barrymore started his career on stage before moving to silent films. His passion for acting was influenced by his family's own theatrical background, But it wasn't the only interest that shaped his life and work. Barrymore had a deep appreciation for art and literature, often incorporating elements from these fields into his roles. He even designed some of his costumes and stage sets himself. This love for arts extended beyond the stage, as he was also a talented painter and sculptor. In fact, during World War I, he used his artistic skills to create posters promoting war bond sales. Despite being famous for playing sophisticated characters, Barrymore led a somewhat tumultuous personal life filled with scandals and substance abuse issues. However, later in his life, he made amends by becoming involved in various charitable activities. For instance, he supported the Actors Fund of America, which provides assistance to professionals in the entertainment industry facing financial hardship due to illness, old age, or other reasons. Moreover, Barrymore was an animal lover and actively advocated against cruelty towards animals. He lent his support to several organizations working towards animal welfare, including the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. His personal experiences, combined with his artistic inclinations and social consciousness, contributed significantly to shaping John Barrymore's unique identity both on and off screen. John Barrymore was a legendary actor, known for his work in both theater and film during the early 1900s. His charismatic presence and powerful acting style left an indelible mark on the industry. He became one of the most celebrated actors of his time, often hailed as the Great Profile. Barrymore's career spanned over 4 decades, and he starred in many memorable productions, including Shakespearean plays like Hamlet and Richard III. In Hollywood, he appeared in classic films such as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Grand Hotel. Despite personal struggles toward the end of his life, his influence on American drama remains significant. For those hoping to follow in his footsteps, Barrymore might advise embracing versatility and taking risks. Throughout his career, he constantly challenged himself by tackling diverse roles across various genres. This willingness to explore different aspects of his craft helped him grow as an artist and solidified his status as a true icon. Aspiring performers could also learn from Barrymore's dedication to preparation. Known for meticulously studying his characters, he understood that thorough research and thoughtful interpretation were crucial components of successful acting. By committing fully to each role, he created unforgettable performances that continue to inspire today. However, it's essential to remember that times have changed since Barrymore's era. Today's entertainment landscape offers new opportunities and challenges, so while reflecting on past achievements can provide valuable insights, modern artists must adapt to current trends and technologies to truly thrive. In conclusion, John Barrymore's legacy serves as a testament to the power of passion, hard work, and artistic exploration. Aspirational professionals would do well to study his approach, but should always strive to bring their unique perspectives and talents to the table. After all, every individual has the potential to contribute something extraordinary to the world of performing arts. Born John Sidney Blythe in 1882, the man we know as John Barrymore found his true calling on the stage and silver screen. Raised in a family of talented actors, he defied expectations by initially pursuing a career in art. However, fate had other plans. After his first leading role on Broadway, there was no turning back. Barrymore's magnetic presence and undeniable talent captivated audiences, leaving an indelible mark on the theater community. Transitioning to film in the early 1900s, he quickly became one of Hollywood's most sought-after stars. Known for his innovative portrayals, Barrymore pushed boundaries and breathed new life into classic roles like Hamlet and Richard III. His groundbreaking performances solidified him as a trailblazer in the industry, inspiring future generations of actors. Throughout his illustrious career, Barrymore faced adversity, but never let it deter him. Plagued by personal demons and addictions, he continued to work tirelessly, perfecting his craft. In doing so, he demonstrated the immense power of creativity and perseverance, even during the darkest times. Barrymore's legacy transcends the entertainment industry, serving as a reminder of the extraordinary potential within us all. His unwavering dedication to his passion has left an everlasting impression, proving that with hard work and determination, anyone can achieve greatness. So take a page from John Barrymore's playbook and embrace your own creative spirit. Who knows what lasting impact you might have? Let's take a moment to appreciate the work of John Barrymore, a legendary actor who left an unforgettable mark on the entertainment industry. Born on February 15, 1882, he was part of a family known for its contributions to theater and film. Barrymore excelled in various roles, showcasing his talent for both drama and comedy. His performance in Hamlet is still considered one of the greatest portrayals of the character. He also brought life to famous literary figures like Richard III and Captain Ahab. His charm wasn't limited to serious roles. Audiences loved him for his wit and humor too. Movies like 20th Century and Midnight highlight his comedic prowess. Despite personal challenges later in life, his impact on Hollywood remains undiminished. Now, over to you. What do you think about John Barrymore's career? Did you have a favorite role or movie of his? Share your memories and thoughts below. And don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with friends, and subscribe for more insights into the lives and works of influential artists. Your engagement helps us continue creating quality content celebrating these remarkable individuals. So let's keep the conversation